Hi everybody, it's Cara from carawhale.com, and today I want to cover a really juicy question and something that I get asked a lot by either students that are budding channels and just becoming a channel and a bit worried about what's going to happen, or people that are interested in readings and they want to know a bit more about the process. So it's a great question because it covers so much. And that question is, can channeling predict my future? And if it can, what's the deal with destiny versus free will? Okay, so what's the answer? The answer is yes and no. Don't you just hate that? Isn't that just a really typical spirit answer? Neither yes nor no, and both of them at the same time. So let me give you an example and then I can explain what I mean from there. So quite typically people will come for readings, or I want to channel for myself about is this relationship the right one for me? Will I meet the one in this year? Will this year be the 1 year for me? Will I be moving house this year? Should I take this trip or that trip? Is this workshop for me or not? Is this my sole purpose or not? So we tend to have questions because we live in this duality reality. Our questions tend to reflect that duality. So spirit lives outside of that. Source obviously lives outside of that. So their answers are beyond duality. Hence the yes and no. So from a practical point of view, what that means is it depends how much you're going to be able to read the energy when you're a channel. So what the guides tend to do is they will look at the different pathways in front of you and the different choices. So let's use an example of, shall I move to this place in the country or that place in the country? And what they will tell you about is what your experience is probably going to be like in either of both of those choices. And then you're able to decide for yourself. That's the free will bit. Okay. So, yes, there's a certain amount of predictability in how you will experience those choices based upon your authentic nature. So they tend to describe what the different choices will be like and how you might experience the playing out of those different choices in your life when you have a dilemma going on. The other way that it can happen, or the other thing that can be involved in it, is, so for example, I've got some choices that I'm wanting to make now. Our family is going to be moving, and I wanted to look at the timescale of that because I know where we're definitely going, and I wanted to know more about how aligned my energy was, because the difference between where you are now and the actualization and the physical manifestation of that choice is a lot about alignment. So when you go into that channeling space, you can feel the time delay, which is the time delay is a representation of all those choices and actions that need to be taken before you're in that new reality. Make sense? So when you are channeling for others, it can, if it's a decision that's closer to them, if it's something that's going to manifest relatively soon, then you're more likely to be able to read it in a reading, and you're more likely to going to be able to say yes, that's happening, or yes, it's in your energy field, yes, it's not far from you. So for example, when I channeled recently, went into the channeling state to do an energy read on how far away the move was and what needed to happen and what alignment needed to happen before that manifested. I could then see, as Aurora, I could then see these energetic opportunities that were coming my way that before I went into that channeling state, I had no idea about. So the way that I experience that as a channel is I can feel the manifestation, and no, it's like I can feel the now, and then on the outskirts of that are things that are going to happen in the near future. And then further back from that are things that are going to happen maybe in a month or two. So the time scale makes a lot of difference. And when you're channeling and you go into that state, you can really begin to feel those energies, what might be coming in, how you might want to respond to opportunities that are coming your way. So I channeled on this the other day and realised that new people were going to be coming into my life. That was really clear, and they have. And so now that's informing me of how I need to respond, because I'm more clear, not 100% sure, but I'm more clear on which opportunities are aligned with that manifestation. So it sounds a bit complicated, but it's not really, and you understand it more when you're in that state, or you're receiving a reading and Aurora's talking to you about what they're noticing. So the other thing that can happen is, especially when you're a channel, when you first start, your confidence in predictions, it puts such a pressure on. It can put such a pressure on, because you really want to get it right for your client, and timings can be tricky. And so sometimes your guide won't give you that information because they know that it's going to cause you too much stress, or you as a channel are not quite clear on how to interpret that energy or that information that's coming your way yet. So you won't feel moved to speak on it. I've learned how to really relax and just let that energy flow. And so I sometimes do get predictions, really strong predictions for people about whether they're going to get a job, whether circumstances are going to change in their life, whether they need to take action or they can just wait for it to play out. And it comes through just like that. It's really, really quick when it's a definite. And then it's a definite when you're aligned and there's a short time scale involved. And finally, the other thing that can happen is your guide wants to protect you. So they won't reveal information that can cause you stress as a channel, or that can take away some kind of opportunity for growth for your client. Is your guide will really be the one who's in charge of the process. And if you come for a reading with me, Aurora just takes over. So I may speak as Cara through the process, but really it's Aurora that's in charge. And one of the things of the guides is their first job is to look after the channel. So as a client, somebody might come, this happened to me, somebody wanted to have some very specific information about the well-being and health of another individual, like what was going to happen in the future. And Aurora gave information that was, we're not seeing anything that would alert us to there being a problem. We don't see anything other than smooth sailing. But when this person, understandably, really pushed for a definite, so what you're telling me is they will absolutely be all right, Aurora's just like, we won't say that. We won't say that, because in that particular stream that they're talking about in terms of their health and their well-being, then everything looked like it was going to be smooth. But they're protecting me as a channel, and in this reality that we live in, we need to be really mindful of what we're saying in terms of health and miraculous recoveries. And the guides will also kind of read the energy of that person and see which is the most appropriate answer for them. They might need to develop the qualities of trust and faith, and so hearing that from the guide, just energize that trust and faith, might be what the highest answer to that question. So it's an interesting one to navigate as a channel. And again, it comes down to the fact that you need to trust your guide. And when you're going for a reading, or when I'm getting information, it's learning to trust that I won't always have a definite answer, because readings and guides are never meant to take away the absolute empowerment and deliciousness of free will, even though in the moment it doesn't feel like that. But who wants to live a life where they've got no choices, where everything is pre-planned and some supreme being knows the layout of everything? We are gods in the making, that we're practicing that by working with manifestation and physical reality. So the guides are more wanting to help us with the mechanics of how to build a physical reality that works for us, that allows our dreams to come true and for us to live the highest expression of who we are. They want to teach us the mechanics. They don't want to give us all the answers, but they will nudge, they will guide, and they will read your energy and the play out of that as it is right now. Okay, so I hope that's answered the question. If you want to get involved in this conversation any further, please do hop over to our Facebook group. The link's down below. And any questions, let me know. Take care. Bye-bye.